Your smartphone is a digital parasite that is currently rotting your brain's ability to feel genuine happiness, and you are blissfully unaware of the damage. Every single scroll, every notification, and every like is a hit of synthetic dopamine that is rewiring your neural pathways to make you miserable in the real world. But there is a specific, almost physical breaking point that happens to your brain at exactly the 14-hour mark of quitting your phone. A moment so intense and so revealing that most people who attempt this challenge quit before they ever reach it. I am going to reveal exactly what that breaking point feels like and why it is the only way to save your focus before it's gone forever. But we have to look at the timeline of the collapse first. We are all addicts. It's a hard truth to swallow, but you know it's true. Think about it. When was the last time you sat in a waiting room, stood in a line, or even sat on the toilet without reaching for that glowing slab of glass? We've traded our attention spans for an infinite loop of 15-second clips in outrage. We think we're in control, but the smartest engineers in Silicon Valley have spent billions of dollars to make sure you aren't. They've built a cage you carry in your pocket. So what happens when you throw away the key for 24 hours? Is it just boredom, or is it something much more dangerous? This isn't just a challenge. This is a biological intervention. The moment you turn that power button off and put the phone in a drawer, the clock starts. For the first 2 hours, you'll feel fine. You might even feel a sense of pride. I've got this, you'll tell yourself. I'm not like those other addicts. But then, the first symptom hits, the phantom vibration syndrome. You'll feel a buzz in your pocket. You'll reach down, your hand moving with the muscle memory of a lifetime, only to realize there's nothing there. Your brain is literally hallucinating notifications. It's so desperate for a hit of dopamine that it's firing off false signals. You might be thinking, that's just a habit. But it's actually your nervous system experiencing a minor form of withdrawal. By hour 4, the anxiety starts to bleed in. This is the FOMO stage, the fear of missing out. Your mind begins to race. What if there's an emergency? What if someone tagged me in a photo? What if the world is ending and I'm the only one who doesn't know? You'll realize how much of your identity is tied to being reachable. Without your phone, you feel invisible. You feel disconnected from the human race. You'll start to notice the silence. And for most of us, silence is terrifying. We use our phones to drown out our own thoughts, and when the noise stops, the thoughts you've been running from finally catch up to you. As you hit the 8-hour mark, something fascinating happens to your perception of time. Without the constant interruption of notifications, time begins to stretch. A single hour starts to feel like 3. You've probably noticed that when you're scrolling, 3 hours can vanish in what feels like 15 minutes. That's because your brain isn't recording memories, it's just processing trash. When you take the phone away, you are forced to actually live in the seconds. It's uncomfortable. It's itchy. You'll find yourself pacing the room, looking at the backs of cereal boxes, or staring out the window like a prisoner. You are experiencing the dopamine bottom. Your brain is used to a high baseline of stimulation, and now that you've cut it off, everything in the real world feels dull, gray, and excruciatingly slow. But then we reach the 14-hour mark. This is the moment I warned you about. This is the great reset. Around this time, your brain enters a state of high cortisol stress. Because you haven't received your social validation hits for over half a day, your brain's amygdala, the part responsible for fear and survival, starts to freak out. You might feel irritable, angry, or even physically nauseous. But if you don't give in, if you don't open that drawer, something miraculous happens. Your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for deep thought and logic, begins to wake up from its slumber. For the first time in years, your brain stops looking for external stimulation and starts looking inward. This is when the limbic friction ends and the flow state becomes possible again. Suddenly, your focus returns with the power of a freight train.
You'll find yourself wanting to read, to build, to create, or to talk, really talk to the people around you. The final 10 hours are where the real magic happens. By hour 20, the itch is gone. You've stopped reaching for your pocket. You've stopped wondering what's happening on Twitter. You've entered a state of digital sobriety. You'll notice things you haven't seen in years. The way the light hits the trees, the subtle expressions on people's faces, the complexity of your own ideas. You aren't just bored anymore. You are present. You'll realize that your phone wasn't a tool you were using. It was a filter that was stripping the color out of your life. When the 24 hours are finally up and you hold that phone in your hand again, you'll feel a strange sense of hesitation. You'll realize that the 500 notifications waiting for you don't actually matter. None of them. The world didn't end, you didn't lose your friends, but you did gain back something, your mind. Most people will watch this and think, I could do that, but they never will. They're too deep in the loop. They're terrified. You now know what's waiting for you on the other side of that 14-hour wall. You know that your focus is a superpower in a world full of distracted zombies. If you want to be part of the 1% who actually owns their own mind and refuses to let an algorithm dictate their happiness, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button and join the few who are brave enough to unplug. The matrix only works if you stay connected. It's time to wake up.